Well, just in the last 45 minutes, a closing arguments wrapped in the Feeding Our Future fraud trial of Amy Bach and Salim Syed. The jury will start deliberating first thing in the morning. Lou Raguse was in the courtroom today, joins us now live from the federal courthouse with the latest on this engaging trial. Lou?
Prosecutors summarized their case to the jury by saying that Amy Bach sold her co-defendants like Salim Syed a perversion of the American dream. Lie, cheat, steal, do anything to make more money. Defense attorneys argued in their closings that the government did not prove its case.
$1 million home in Plymouth, a mansion on Park Avenue in Minneapolis, another $2.5 million commercial building in Ohio, and 2 vehicles, all purchased by Salim Syed using federal child meal program money. Lavish spending by Feeding Our Future executive director Amy Bach, who texted, "We may have become the mob." Assistant U.S. Attorney Harry Jacobs reminded the jury in his closing argument of all the evidence presented at trial that Bach and Syed knew about and participated in the $250 million meal fraud while claiming to serve 91 million meals to kids during the pandemic. Jacobs quoted one witness from the trial who said, "That math ain't mathin'." Jacobs said all these fake meal counts from Syed led to all these checks written by Bach for fraudulent claims, which led to more checks written by Syed as bribes to keep the false submissions coming. Jacobs said Bach just had to hold her hand out and the checks came pouring in. Bach's attorney Kenneth Udoybach told the jury in his closing argument, "You cannot hold Miss Bach responsible for someone else's actions." Udoybach tried to diminish the credibility of the witnesses who testified after pleading guilty themselves, and reminded the jury of Bach's testimony of investigating fraud and terminating meal sites herself. Syed's attorney Adrian Montez showed the jury photos of meals being prepared at Safari Restaurant, telling them, unlike other meal sites from defendants who pleaded guilty, the numbers submitted by the busy Lake Street restaurant were accurate. He said, "The reality is that this was an easy transition for Safari Restaurant. They were ready to go on day one."
So after 5 weeks of testimony, this case is finally in the jury's hands. They'll begin deliberating first thing in the morning, considering 7 crimes for Bach and considering 21 for Syed. Back to you.
Lou, like you said, 5 weeks, that is a very long trial. Are there any indications by legal analysts what the jury is thinking or how long this might take?
Well, just the sheer number of counts that they have to consider means that it could take time, so wouldn't be surprising if it takes longer than a day to deliberate.
All right. Thank you, Lou.